Welcome to our new lesson. This week you will be finding a missing angle using the law of cosines. So on our last lesson, we used the law of cosines in order to help us find a missing side. Well, let's say that we have a situation where three sides are given, and of course this would have to be on a triangle that's not right, be acute or obtuse, either one would work. So I give you three sides, and we want to find a missing angle. So whatever angle I'm looking at, we're going to use these three sides and apply the law of cosines, and we will be able to find that angle. Now you're going to find out that this problem works a lot differently than when you did find the missing side. We're going to kind of go backwards from what we did here, because actually x is going to be right here. So we're going to find this angle. So let's look at a couple examples, and then you can get started on your assignment. Our first example is going to be of an obtuse triangle, and I have these missing sides of applied sides of 7, 12, and 16. But I want the missing angle x. So I want to know how many degrees is that. Let's say we don't have a protractor laying around, and I need that exact measurement of that angle. Well, by applying the law of cosines, I can find that missing angle. So let's go ahead and write down the formula so we can plug each part in correctly. So we have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. Now I know I told you before that this formula is written three different ways, where you have a b, and a c, but it really applies to all of these, so you only need really one formula. So now what you've got to do is determine where is x, and that will tell you where a is. So x is the angle, and I look across and I see the number 16. That will be your a, and of course this will be your uppercase A, or our angle that we're looking for. B and C will be the other two. Now which one's B, which one's C, it really doesn't matter. I always say whatever the smaller one is, we'll call that B and the other one C. It really doesn't matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug these numbers in. So in the place of little a, I have 16. So that's 16 squared is equal to 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 cosine. Now I don't know what x is. That's what I'm solving for, so we're just going to put x right there. Alright, let's take our calculators and let's square these numbers, because this is going to be pretty large. We got 16 squared, so this is 256 equals to 49 plus 144 minus 2 times 7 is 14. 14 times 12 is 168 cosine x. Now here's where the tricky part comes in. So everybody take your calculator, because we want to make sure we get this correct. You need to bring the 49 and 144 over here to the left side. Now you could go ahead and add these two up, but you're just adding an extra step. So what I would do is take this number 256, put in your calculator, and then subtract 49 and 144. So minus 49 minus 144. That's going to give you 63 over here on the left, equals to negative 168 cosine x. Alright, now here comes the last two steps. I've got to divide by negative 168, because see, we got to get x by itself, but the cosine is linked to the x, so let's leave that alone. Let's go ahead and divide by negative 168. So take your calculator, divided by 168, and of course this is, let's try that again, 63 divided by 168. Now let's put that negative here, and you get negative 0.375. You don't have to write that down. Just keep it like it is in the calculator, because what is happening is you're going to find the missing angle. And remember, in trig, in order to find the angle, we're going to do the inverse of the trig function. So this is cosine x, so the inverse would be second cosine. Now, when you do that, you get 112 degrees, okay, or 0.0 degrees. And that's how you find the missing angle. All right, let's try another example in which it's an acute triangle. So x is an acute angle this time, and you're going to notice that our calculations are going to come up slightly different than the obtuse one. So that's why I want to show a couple examples, so in case that y'all run into a situation, you'll know exactly what to do. All right, so let's go ahead and write down the formula. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine A. Now, identify x. This angle here, look across. This will be your little a, and this would be your big A. And that makes 19 and 24, little b and little c. Plug it in. We have 27 squared is equal to 19 squared plus 24 squared minus 2 times 19 times 24 cosine A. All right, now let's put this in our calculator. 27 squared is going to give us 729. 19 squared is 361. 24 squared is 576. Now let's multiply 2 times 19 times 24. That should give you 912 cosine A. All right, everybody get your calculators out. Let's do this together. So I want to put in 729, subtract 361, subtract 576. Now notice I got negative 208 this time. So this time I got a negative. So apparently when you have an acute angle that you're looking for, you're going to end up with a negative here, or maybe an acute triangle. All right, now once you get to this part, we are going to divide by negative 912. Now that's very important that we do get this negative, because we know two negatives will make a positive, and that does make a difference to our answer. So I divided by 912, there's the negative, equals, all right, now we don't want to write that number down like I said before, because we're looking for the angle. So we get 0.228, so on and so on. Now, in order to find the angle, we take the inverse cosine. Now, since we already pressed the second button, you'll notice it's already highlighted, so we can actually just, as long as you see that highlighted, you can press the cosine, because see, you see this is the inverse of cosine. So when I press that, I get 76.8 degrees. So the measure of angle A, or angle X, is 76.8 degrees without having to use a protractor. Okay, y'all have a great week.